we forgot to do that.
So
6 minutes
obviously,
wisdom wasted.
yeah, yeah. Well, people should have been here in earlier.
Yeah,
So
they
obviously,
should
we've
turn
got a
up.
good trend line here going on. Um, I mean, this would have been the move initially, I guess. So this point of interest here takes the trend line. It comes back, mitigates things. I didn't catch an entry on this, obviously I was expecting it to go a bit higher, as you can see. But that leads me to believe that because we've got a trend line formed here, this point of interest has now taken the trend line, so that this might become to mitigate an imbalance. 1 minute change of character, possibly continue to sell. Structure wise, we're about this is possibly a structure high as well, so we could be up here and then new lower low overall. But we've also got a bigger structure forming as well, so we could still come higher still, but very an interesting point, not none the least. So it's worth keeping an eye on this week, I think. Um, yeah, I've got a latest on a couple of them imbalances. But like I say, it might still come and tag this entry from end of December. I have to draw some
Yeah,
more trend lines and things, see what's going on. Because there might be a trend line I'm not seeing yet. But yeah, that's that's me. That's what I'll be keeping my eye on this week is GU anyway. Like I say, I like this area because it's caused this to be taken. So
yeah.
hopefully, maybe we could even catch a sell into a buy. Maybe we might do something like that, or it might just we might catch a little buy off that one if it plays out. But yeah, I mean, obviously that sort of like leads well into points of interest. So I like the zones that cause like a decent trend line to be swept. So as I said it before, this would have been the point of interest. It took this one, comes back, mitigates something, sells off. Hopefully, it would have given a 1 minute change of character, but I've not looked, so I don't know. But it's them. Obviously, they're like continuation trades. I think I posted this Euro JPY on Saturday. I don't know if anyone actually got to look at it, but obviously this point of interest causes this trend line to be taken, and then it comes back and mitigates. Obviously, it looks like it breaks the structure and then mitigates, which would be an entry. Um, so I'm talking nearly a couple of hundred pip move there, possibly to have caught. Then obviously this point of interest causes this trend line to be taken, comes back, mitigates. I think it mitigates it higher here. Um, this point of interest. No, that's not right.
That's
Yeah,
delivery that one on the 18th of December. That one about the 20th of December. Textbook, isn't it?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So and then this point of interest takes this liquidity, mitigates. So the what the higher time frame sort of points of interest are very. This is how I like to do it. Obviously, I don't normally mark all this up because I did it on Saturday just to try and show everybody what maybe keep an eye out for. Do you know? So obviously, this one here caused this equal highs to be taken, mitigates, does its thing, mitigates into another sweep, if you like. It's just everywhere. Obviously, this one here breaks this major low, mitigates, and then we've possibly got obviously this one swept liquidity and reversed. So we could well obviously see. I'd like to see a return into this at some point. Um, Pending if there's any other trend lines that might put me off. But so yeah, obviously that's why I'm obviously I posted all these, but yeah, points like 4 hour zones that cause liquidity to be taken, decent like good clean trend lines as well. So you've got 3 good touches here. Oh, that's just a major low. Well, good trend line there. So that'll get swept. I was looking for an entry on this last week, actually. I think it was. yeah, last week. Just I didn't find an entry, but so it might still be there. To be honest, we've obviously taken a major low. This might be one of the entries I should have took, but it wasn't where I was looking, so it's not to worry. There will be plenty more. So does that sort of make sense to everybody that we'll maybe leave this live and then go and find some points of interest?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I might need to mark these up myself and watch them. I used to like proactively. The
yeah,
live is sort of passive. What I've got to do is then go away and sit on the
yeah,
lock up
yeah,
on my own chart
yeah. Well, I
and
mean, I
watch it
hope.
happen. It's
Yeah,
the
I mean,
way,
I'd
isn't it?
hope a lot of people do that anyway, because
Yeah,
obviously I sort of blast through a lot of it, and then obviously if people watch it back, they can obviously this one here. Obviously you got a trend line here, a decent 4 hour trend line, and obviously somewhere in this price action, because I was looking at Euro ord and uh, GBP ord for buys in the week, and obviously this is why. So obviously there's a big trend line there. Obviously this is the first 4 hour imbalance created, so somewhere in here to the low is where I'd be hoping for a decent buy from. And then obviously I was trying to buy it from here the other week, and then it got obliterated, but still in the zone. And then obviously it gives a 1 minute break. I mean that's probably more than a 1 minute, probably a 15, but we get a break up here, comes back, mitigates that. So that would have been a nice one to have caught. I just I didn't really get much chat time last week, so I missed hell of a lot of what was going on. But yeah, super important of where we're trying to like the points of interest. Obviously, it's just a point of interest is just an area where we think there's a high probability of something happening, and it's usually because something that has caused a break of structure, taken liquidity. That's about it really. Maybe filled imbalance as well. Um, also, you won't want like targets below this if you were trying to buy from this. So you'd want it to have done as much as possible and have nothing below it. There might be stuff quite far down below it, but we're not worried about something down here just yet, you know. So and there's things just everywhere on every chart. So obviously now this one's got this marked up. I'll refine this at some point in the week, but this has taken. There's a third touch in there. They're very close together, but this trend line here, this one, just extend that. So in sweat. So I would hope that this will go and tap something in there to the left. Come back down here. Obviously, break a 1 minute. Continue up maybe. Obviously, it's all coming from because it swept a decent trend line. It seems to be heading upwards as well. Obviously, we're starting to get we've got bullish structures. So um, obviously, this is one I took it there, 41 fold. I didn't spot this trend line before this point. Obviously, I spotted this one, which is why I took me take profit just after this one. I thought we might get a sweep and then a possible reversal, which is always possible once trend lines are taken. It doesn't mean reversal, a sweep. Like I say this one's possibly going to continue. The previous ones I showed you was continuations. It sort of almost guarantees a bit of a pullback at least, but yeah. But as you can see, obviously, same again. Point of interest causes liquidity to be taken, pulls back, possibly an entry in there. Obviously, it creates liquidity there as well. So that could have maybe been an entry. This was obviously the next move of where I got in. Same here, point of interest, takes liquidity, comes back, mitigates it. So it just keeps taking liquidity and moving up at the minute. So I'll do that. So yeah, that's sort of points of interest covered. Obviously, it's all based around liquidity being taken. So that's obviously the market doing. That's what I mean when I say doing something. It's taking liquidity. Um, yeah, but obviously in here, if this is the right play, if it's just continue and do this, I want it to come in and hopefully there'll maybe be some lower time frame liquidity built up as well. So possibly equal its lows here. Not quite. I don't think price will reach that before it comes too steep. Uh, yeah, I mean, I was hoping price would come somewhere into this anyway, and even if it creates liquidity on it while it's down here, filling in major imbalance, there'll probably be a couple in here somewhere. Some maybe somewhere in here. One of these little lows maybe. This one looks to have been filled by this anyway.
How do you tell, Lee, between when you get a low, like you just pointed at, those lows,
Yep.
how do you know when to disregard the lowest imbalance and when you think it might be the one that's worth marking up or watching?
Uh, it's a good question, mate. So a lot of the time, you sort of like you're trying to weigh up the difference between size of imbalance and where it is in relation to obviously the point of interest or
Right.
the leg as such. So
Sort of context, yeah.
yeah, so obviously I'm just trying to find it. So obviously if I extend this trend line, I mean I'm assuming I've taken that quite a little bit off the actual line, but for
Doesn't
example
matter.
where it
Yeah.
is, like my first two parts, my first two things I'm sort of like looking for at that point is it's very much likely that this was the cause of the initial breaking of the trend line.
Yeah.
So, and especially when like this here, this long wick down here, obviously there's possibly a build up of there's a possible bit of liquidity here as well. So this is another area that's possibly also just the same reason. Obviously, they maybe this is where the push comes from that actually causes this initial break. And delete that one. And then I'm sort of coming down and looking for the start of the whole leg. So then my next point of interest would be down here. So this is the start of this whole
Yeah.
that drawing tool does my head in. Yeah, and obviously there's possibly equal lows here, sweep, and then obviously so this is the start of the whole leg. So they're generally like the first couple of areas I'd look at, and then I'd be jumping down onto the seconds time frame as well, possibly the 10, and just seeing if there's any like major imbalances. Obviously, this looks like a real big push here, so I would always rather it come lower into the zone, like into this leg, for obviously if it comes down here and there's an imbalance down in this point here, because obviously this is where the whole move started from as such. Obviously, you've got to pull back. So this will be like a 15-minute structure low. Doesn't take this yet, and then this is possibly what causes. It's the start of and the cause of. This is just what I would say the cause of. I know obviously that might be confusing to try and understand, but this is the start of the move, and then there's a couple of pullbacks in here. So this is maybe where the big money goes in, maybe to finally cause the break, because
Yeah.
there'll be sell orders that it's fighting against, and this is why it's doing this possibly. But
Yeah.
but effectively, I'd always prefer it to come the lower down in this it comes. Obviously, I don't want it to come super super low because the closer it gets to the low, the more I think it might want to take it. So this is prime area. Obviously, it's taken liquidity as well, possibly, and it's then broken highs as well. So
Right.
you're just trying to stack things in your own.
Yeah. It's not a precise science, is it? It's a bit,
No,
yeah,
no. I mean, I get precise entries, but I can't. There's no one defined rule that goes. That's where I'm looking
yeah,
for. It's just, yeah, you're just trying to weigh up and go. I think this one's better than that one. It might react out of this. You might miss it, but it's
yeah,
just it's the nature of the beast of the industry. So
yeah.
just trying to stack more things in your favor, I guess, is the best way. Uh, so I'm just going to read in this message. Do you remember we spoke about GE on the chat the other day and that I couldn't find a suitable entry? Is there anything you could probably find? Yes. Yeah, are you happy with that explanation, Matt, by the way? And
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, I just thought before I move on and look at
No,
GA.
it's cool. It's a bit
Uh,
cotton. Some of this stuff is a bit cotton woolly. Sometimes it's there's no alternative just to looking at them in time, isn't it? Yeah,
yeah, it's. I mean, a lot of it's probably just experience, mate, as well. Do you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
It's one of them things. It's you know, some
You,
areas will have bigger imbalances, some will have smaller, but the smaller one might be in a slightly better area. Do you know? So
yeah, yeah,
yeah, and obviously we're trying to. I mean, my risk to rewards are so obviously high. So obviously last week I took a 41 fold. In reality, I've got 40 chances to find another trade before I hit break even. So I'm okay with splitting my risk between three or four areas because I can take three or four losses.
yeah,
So, so obviously, if people watching this aren't trading this way or taking that higher risk to reward, then obviously you'd have to make sure your system allows for it. So if you're already hitting 1 to 8, like rather than just putting say three or four entries on, obviously you can still do that, and I would still advise it if you can mentally deal with that, but reduce your risk on each of them as well. So
yeah,
there's ways around making it work and things like that.
yeah.
Um, so obviously Stephen says about we spoke about GBP Ord. So
Evening, everyone.
I am mate,
Hey man,
right.
how you doing?
Yeah, good. How are you guys?
I'm good. I'm good.
Doing all right, man. Doing all right.
How's everyone's weekend been so far?
Mine's
Wet.
been yeah, well, yeah, it's been a bit windy and that. Mine's been terrible, mate. I sent off the education videos a couple of hours ago, but I've been struggling to do that since Friday, I think it was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a pain in the ass trying to get them sent over, but I nearly punched my laptop this earlier, so
So I give you a reason to go out and buy another one.
yeah, I do need a new one, but
I've been
I literally only use it for this live, so I'm a bit like, do I really need to?
I've been thinking about getting an all-in-one, um, like just an all-in-one sort of like monitor PC.
Yeah,
Because then it's like because all I'm basically using it for is charts and stuff.
yeah, yeah,
I just need to get one with a decent sized screen. That's it really. And then yeah, at least want like a 32-inch all-in-one PC.
yeah,
I'd be happy with that, I reckon, because
yeah, yeah,
you don't have that obviously the big block which is underneath,
yeah,
So yeah, but
yeah.
No, I'm lying in bed at the moment. Couldn't. I have to have a laptop for my mobility.
Yeah, I think laptop for mobility is a good
yeah,
option, but like, I also like the idea of having a space. I
yes,
like Steven's little sex
shed.
dungeon place that he's got.
Yeah. If you notice, he never lets us see a picture of the whole place, does he? Yeah.
You
There's
That's
put
always
a
a
where he,
lot
mess
of
in the
it
background
out of the camera view.
yeah, well, that's where he keeps his victims. So
Yeah.
in front of me the whole time
yeah,
and under the desk.
so yeah. So I'll get back to this anyway.
See, I could
Incriminating you,
only
mate. Sorry.
I could only find like a 13 pip stop loss on that one.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, because I couldn't find anything close enough to that low,
Yeah.
and I was covering that low as well, just in case, But I mean, obviously, it's still a valid entry, but
Yeah.
it's just a bigger stop loss. I mean, generally, like a 13 pip stop loss in the trading industry is a reasonable stop loss, if you know what I
Yeah.
mean. But
Yeah.
but obviously, what we're trying to do is tighten them
Yeah.
to get like more
Yeah. Yeah.
advantage of profits.
Yeah. Yeah.
So but yeah, I just couldn't see it, and I think on your chart, it's tapped your stop loss, hasn't it?
No, I think it was your reward that pipped on. Yeah, it must be this one. Yeah. Yeah. Just passed. I took a loss on one of it. Was this one? I should have took
Yeah,
your reward, but this one just
yeah,
pipped me out.
yeah,
Um.
literally just as well.
Yeah. So
How many pips
obviously
did you have on yours? Sorry, Lee.
5.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah, gutted. If you had
Oh,
6, you would have been right.
well, I mean the spread's quite wide on GBP odd anyway, in it. So
Yeah,
I think I allowed 2 pips on it to allow for like a pip
yeah,
and just a pip and a half or just under that for the spread. So
yeah.
I lost. There was no like. I mean, obviously I could have covered the low. I guess would have been reasonably sensible suggestion.
Mm.
But then that, yeah. I mean, it would have
It's,
still been a good trade to be fair. It's still been a banger, I guess. But
yeah.
um,
So I think I don't. Where's your TP set at? I wonder if mine's at the same. No, actually, my TP was lower, to be honest. Well,
yeah,
no, it actually because obviously I've got it. I only took it to the high, like the change of character high,
yeah,
which was basically it's only giving me like 9%.
yeah,
So yeah, that's one thing I still got to work on, I guess, is the TPs.
yeah,
Equal highs there.
yeah. So obviously with what I was saying about obviously with points of interest. I mean, we've got this trend line up here, so
Hmm.
I mean that would have been a monster hold anyway. I don't recommend anybody hold something for that long and leave that much on the table. But we've got so structure wise, obviously we'll just go through it as a whole trade. So obviously we are trending upwards. So yeah, so low, high, lower, high, higher, high, body close. I've gone off this. Higher,
High, low.
yeah, higher, low, higher, high.
Yeah.
So this is the pullback possibly.
Yep.
And we've hit the area where obviously we possibly could reverse from. Obviously this zone's caused this liquidity to be taken and this liquidity to be taken, which is obviously why I was looking for buys from around here.
Yeah.
I'm assuming there's like a trend line. This might be a trend line that caused the sweep, and then obviously the cause of the breaks of structure up to the upside of things. So, but multiple trend lines taken from this zone here.
Uh-huh.
So, what how I would obviously if this hadn't already played out as it has, obviously I would say once this move plays for a bit, obviously you would come down and I would start marking the imbalances somewhere in this to this, possibly this low.
Yeah.
Just going to replay it a touch further. I'm going to do it from there just so I don't have to spend ages looking at the imbalances on this and waste half of the session doing it. So, so obviously we've got, I mean, that's a huge imbalance that will get marked. This is a huge imbalance. These are huge imbalances. Maybe mark a couple. Bearing in mind, obviously we're on the 10 seconds, so these take from the bottom of that candle there to the top of it, like nearly 6 pips in 10 seconds. So a real good indication that something happened here or here, and so on. You get the general gist.
Mm-hmm.
You'd maybe mark them all the way down. Obviously, this one way down here is probably news, I'm guessing. So from jump to 2 hours. I'm just going to cancel it so I don't have to play it loads and loads and loads. So obviously, when price comes back eventually, obviously it's broken structures and everything like that's broken above here. So obviously we've just seen that it's trending upwards. We're happy that it's hitting an area where it might continue to the upside from. So I don't think this is an easy one to have caught, by the way. It's just not easy. So obviously here is just shy of the imbalance, a bit too shy of what I would be happy with. So never trying to take a buy from that, because I think he's got these couple of imbalances below that possibly wants to come and fill. So yeah, 6 odd pips short of that imbalance. Obviously this one's a lot closer. There's maybe on the 5 second or something like that, it may be a bit clearer on, obviously, that it might have filled it or whatever, but pretty damn close to one of the imbalances that we would say is possibly the cause of this move happening and liquidity is being taken. So, and obviously we have a build up of liquidity here. So this is a lower time frame trend line and sweep. So trend line sweep. So this is on the 15-minute. Obviously it's visible on the 2 hour or whatever, but not quite touch the imbalance, not quite touch the imbalance, creates liquidity, sweeps it, pretty much touches it there, just shy. Well, that's close enough for me. So from this liquidity sweep, obviously we would want a breaker structure. So this is the move, this is the high that caused the liquidity to be taken. So from there, if it breaks there, that's a signal for me to go and find an entry. Oh. Even if you wanted to be extra careful and you wanted to say that high there is maybe lose a pip or two, but if it took that one, I'd be happy, really happy if it took that one.
Yeah.
And it even takes this one up here just. So not in doubt that it's broken to the upside. So obviously from that point, I would say I'm just going to move this back to this one just so I ain't got so much price action to look through. But obviously something happens here. Probably news, Australian news.
Yeah, because at that time I'd say it was.
Yeah, so probably Australian news.
Yeah.
And obviously we've got a build up of liquidity under here as well. So with all that said, obviously I would then be saying anything between where this does here, and we're on the 15 at the minute, just because I'd be looking on the 1, but I'm trying to fit it all in the screen.
You know, I think we've got Australian news again just after market opens, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll not be doing anything till tomorrow now. Anyway,
no, but it'd be interesting to see where the market goes, where it is currently.
Yeah. I mean, it's moved quite a bit. What I used to think when I was doing my other system was, if I had a really big push on the Friday, which obviously it has done, then Monday used to retrace up until sort of like midday-ish, give or take a couple of hours.
Oh yeah.
And then it would continue. So I always used to expect a big pullback on the Monday. So we might actually see something like that tomorrow. Obviously, it's not guaranteed, but it was a familiar thing that happened to me. So we might well see pullbacks tomorrow. But obviously, from this break-in 1 minute structure up here, this green line, once that closes above there, that's go find an entry for me.
Yeah.
So obviously we've got the trend line here, so I probably wouldn't advise trying to sell above this trend line. I would like to think that I've known you all enough about that to not need to explain why. Because obviously price would likely want to come back, take these liquidity as well. So we would then be looking for an entry below where this trend line would be here. So I would say we are looking for an entry between this candle and obviously this low here. So obviously I would jump straight down to like the 10 second and we're trying to find big imbalances to be filled. So obviously this is a good one. There's a real nice one, to be fair, as long as it hasn't been filled. And then obviously we've got these couple of nice looking candles down here. So I think I must have been on the 5-second. Yeah, I'd have marked the 5. So this was the zone I had matched. So big imbalance caused here.
So there wasn't really anything over to the left, though, was there? I mean, there's a bit of a
Well,
BBR there, but
yeah, I'm assuming that's what it tags into, mate. I haven't
I
actually
was going to say,
checked.
yeah, if you, maybe mark it and see what happened there. But yeah,
So
because
BPR, so I would anticipate that.
yeah, there's a good chance as well, isn't there?
Yeah, so there's a good chance that the entry is that, something like that. I didn't really spot this. I spotted it just as we was doing it now, but
Yeah.
mainly because I know I lost, so I know it's coming below this. So
Yeah.
um,
But I couldn't see that either. So that's
no,
why, like, when I was looking, because my entry's the same as your entry,
yeah,
like the original entry, and I just could not see anything further over to the left, and
yeah,
yeah, there's a massive, like, obviously for this system, it's a massive stop loss,
yeah,
like, and I was just like, yeah, like, like technically, I wouldn't take that trade
yeah,
because it doesn't work with the system, if you know what I
yeah,
mean.
yeah.
Because
I mean,
obviously, but yeah, but otherwise, I probably would have taken that trade.
yeah, yeah. So I would say there,
Hmm.
mate. Maybe I mean, even if it don't come that low, there's something happens here as well.
Yeah,
Do you see these? But yeah, I would assume that. I'll play it out in a sec. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's a lot can happen on these seconds as well. I mean, I miss a lot and as well because, like I say, I didn't even spot that.
and I guess like in a minute we can see. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
look at that.
yeah, exactly. So
And I guess what would the entry have been now? Obviously, if he was to like 1.6 possibly.
yeah,
Oof.
just one and
So
a
I mean,
half. I mean, I'd have been at least 4, I think, on it.
would
Cause
you? Yeah.
yeah, because like I'd allowed 2 for spread, so four four gives you a 2 plus a tiny bit
Fine.
more. So maybe even 5 at a push. I probably won't go more than 5, but
Five's quite suitable anyway, isn't it?
yeah, absolutely, mate. And then obviously I know it hasn't reached. I mean, it
I
probably hasn't.
generally, I generally just tend to do like five pip minimum.
Yeah,
Not unless I know I can really pinpoint it down, like
yeah,
which I have done with obviously my NAS trades.
yeah,
Like I can get some serious pinpointing with NAS.
yeah.
I
Well,
love it.
like Naz fills imbalances really well a lot of the time. So,
Yeah.
um,
That's
but
that's that. But that is part of how I trade it is from imbalances, sweeps and imbalances, basically,
yeah, yeah,
and that's it. And then looking for reversals.
yeah. So obviously a lot of the points of interest I've posted about,
Yeah,
obviously this is
yeah,
a continuation. So
yeah.
obviously don't obviously I know it looks like a reversal from here
Yeah,
if you
but
just look at that price action,
I guess
but
it's just a pullback, isn't it?
yeah, this is just a
Yeah,
pullback. So yeah, don't limit yourself to just thinking you're only catching reversals because technically you're continuing if you're looking from a higher time frame.
yeah, cool.
So just always try and look left, mate. So obviously this is why I was trying to buy this from here.
Yeah,
So we was looking at the end of last year. Obviously the move started way before that, I guess. So, but
I mean, do you reckon if it was going to have like another pullback? Um, sorry, I'm just letting the dog out. If it was going to have another pullback from where it is, do you reckon it might maybe come back down to like obviously roughly around that low something? Because I mean, there's a big imbalance there as well, isn't there?
yeah, I mean it was a big push. I would like to see, mate, a bit more.
Bit more push. I mean, it's got a massive order block technically as well.
We've got that there, so we've got a real good possibility, mate, that it will pull back into. I don't think it'll come too low. but I think possibly somewhere around here.
Yeah.
So yeah, this imbalance is created here. I would say keep your eye on somewhere around there.
Uh-huh.
Possibly this bit here as well, the lower. Possibly that. But obviously, I mean, that might be liquidity under here, so it might also come lower, to be fair, if it wants
I
to
mean,
take
that would be the one which I was potentially eyeing up.
equal lows under here, so. But yeah, I'll mark the imbalances in and around these blue boxes anyway, and if price comes into them, like I said, I'd like it to do this one. This one, I just move that box to the right slightly. So this
Let's see what happens with news, I guess.
Yeah, so I like this wick here.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it takes possibly little lows in here. Big extended wick's a good sign. So that's obviously probably taking stop losses, manipulation.
Yep.
So somewhere in and around this wick, maybe. So I like that. Nothing in here really stands out other than a couple of like smaller imbalances, but there is possibly trend line or equal lows as well. So yeah, obviously I wouldn't just say if there's an imbalance in this wick here. Say if there's an imbalance there, don't just set a pending on it and go, yeah, I'm getting in. Wait for it to be touched.
Yeah.
Break to the upside because obviously, obviously I say this week in week out.
I mean, that's got to break obviously up above where it is pretty much as well, isn't it?
Yeah. So obviously, if it starts trending downwards like this until obviously we want it to fill one of the like imbalances that we like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Until it breaks the high.
Yeah.
So until it does that,
that's
I then want to
find the entry.
This break here is the first confirmation on the obviously on the 1 minute. So 1 minute's the lowest I would take a breaking structure on. It's the lowest time frame break into the right direction that you would want to see before getting in. So without that, obviously, if you had the same structure going on, if this doesn't happen,
yeah,
it could just come mitigate something in there and continue trending down.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's why I always say that breaker structure it's mega important.
Yeah, that confirmation that you need.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice one. Thanks, Lee.
Always looking for that there. Like I say, otherwise it could just continue trending down. It might break to the structure, not come back, and it might just go.
Yeah.
But
it doesn't matter. You don't get an entry. That's it.
Yeah. If you don't get an entry, so be it. It just means you'll probably maybe catch an entry higher up, possibly. But
yeah.
I would much rather wait for that extra confirmation and not take a silly loss.
Yeah.
Than catch something and be extra risky. So.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah. I'll keep drumming that into you, mate. So
I know. I've got a bit bored the other day, mate, as well. I had to just mark up. I was just like, I'm so fucking bored.
Yeah.
I was just marking up, and I think I just had a bit of time on my hands, and I was just like, because I'm just going to do some load of marking up and just see what happens.
Yeah. Well, you posted it, and I thought, I'm sure that's the third system he's posted in the last 24 hours. And I thought...
No, it was 3 in a day.
3 in 20... And I thought, hang on a minute. I can't remember if he's posted 3 or not, or if he's just done 2. And I thought, well, he's definitely done 2 in an hour. So...
Yeah.
And my eyes started twitching. I was like, come on, mate.
I was so bored. And literally, I think because it was like newses and everything that day, and I was just I was just bored, and I just wanted to just mark some stuff up and play around. It's like sometimes you just because this is technically, obviously, a second nature thing now, and I don't know, you just get sometimes you just jump on the chart, you're just a bit bored, and just having a look around, and lots of things just pop up.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, a lot of things just don't pop up, and you just, oh, look, Oh, I've
Yeah.
just seen that. I've just seen that. And because I think when I had that big break, I'm seeing a lot more stuff now as well, rather than just like, oh, look, there's something I can just jump into and it not work.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. But yeah, obviously with this one, obviously it's given a if we'd got the right entry, they've been sat at around 35.
yeah.
So but yeah, decent targets to the upside as well. And I think there's more up here as well. So
Cool.
there'll be no doubt there's trend lines being created as we
See what happens with it then tomorrow. That's something that could be where it's potentially heading to.
yeah. There's there's good imbalances all over the place, mate. If I jump up to the 4 hour, obviously there's a real possibility that we are now going to go make a higher high if structure is to be correct, So, well, obviously it's a mega hold, but obviously there's a volume gap here, so that would be a target possibly. Obviously, that's sweeping this possible trend line fills that void there. Then we've got imbalances up here. Obviously, trend lines here, so possibly a big move. It might also not be a big move. I mean, it could be. Obviously, it is currently downtrending, sort of on a pullback. It might just pull back into here, take that, and continue lower. There is a possibility it wants to come for something here as well, something like that maybe. But I'd still be in it. I think, to be honest, I think I'd at least be taking it to above here. So 50 folds, something like that. Probably shoot my pants up here, I guess. But yeah, did I see you posted about Bitcoin, mate? Is that
Yeah, I think I was just there's just like a potential area. So
You were
basically,
just
it's
bored
pretty.
again, weren't you?
I think no, well, yeah. I mean, I was just looking at Bitcoin because obviously it's moving and stuff. But where you've pretty much got like that box going across, that is pretty much roughly where I've got a potential entry.
okay?
I think so, somewhere around there.
Yeah, this wick low here.
Yep, somewhere around there. Oh no, no, no,
No,
uh,
that's not it, Stephen. It's
that's
the
not it.
oh, you,
I've got it at 104,151 roughly.
yeah, it's there.
Mm.
This one here, right?
That last little tail. Yeah,
Yeah.
that little
Is that
squiggle on the end of the tail.
that there? So, I'll just clear off a little bit. I'm assuming you've marked an imbalance of you, and that's what you're.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think let me just zoom. It's basically yeah, 104,151 is the top of the imbalance, I think. So um what time frame was it? Uh, 5. Yeah, there's a little bit. It must be the 1 minute, possibly. Oh, yeah, it was 1 minute and then the 10 second where I've got my imbalance from. No, 1 minute, 1 minute time frame.
Yeah, I'm just looking at trying to find the imbalance I'd be happy for it to do, mate. Obviously, there's this huge one here, touch lower than where you said. But that'll be the same imbalance, I think, won't it?
Uh,
Um,
yeah, I'd say so. Well, mine's right on the tip. And there's tiny. So basically, if you was to look, um, let me just. If you go on the 5 minute time frame, if you have a look at the candle of 25th of January, so 10 past 10, there's a tiny little bit of imbalance in there, which could could be filled, but there's obviously once you go into the 1 minute time frame, there's imbalance below.
25th of Saturday.
20. Yeah. Let me just double check it. 25th of January, 10 past 10.
AM is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, down there. Yeah. It's on the line. I think that's the imbalance of Max anyway. It's filled it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
roughly why I was thinking that area.
Yeah, I mean, these candles look like something's happened, mate, so. God knows what, but something's happened around it.
Again, it was just me just being a little bit bored and just jumped onto it and just like, oh, I like that area.
Yeah. I'm just having a look, mate, I think.
Yeah, because I think it was
Let
that
you
change of
break up
character.
here.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Yeah. Does that? Only, I mean, I don't know if you. Obviously, I've got that trend line, mate, so. That's that. I mean, that trend line puts me off anyway.
Yeah.
I've got one up here. Whatever it is. Trend line there, mate. So there's a obviously this might be the right trade. Obviously, I'm not trying to put you off or anything.
No.
But
I won't be trading it. It's just a markup at the moment.
yeah, but if this drags out, if it goes up higher still and then comes
Yeah.
back
It could tap in onto trend line over there.
midweek past Thursday anyway, then I would say yeah, it's a good one. But before then, I would say it's on the riskier side now,
Yeah,
just for
fine.
this. But obviously, this might be wrong. So yeah,
Just keep an eye on it. See what happens.
yeah. I mean, it's mid range as well on anything, but I mean, its price action's been pretty crappy since last Monday, and it so obviously it's ranging a bit, I guess, but.
Mm.
Yeah, but obviously there's a good trend line above as a target if you dare hold it.
Because that's the all-time high there as well, isn't it?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And that's one of my targets as well, you see.
yeah,
So that's what I was thinking, like while it's ranging where it is, that there's definitely entries around that area where it's going to want to push up and
yeah,
I don't know, I think like before the end of January, I think
yeah,
we're going to be seeing like 2 or 3 more all-time highs this week.
yeah.
There is no top, mate.
No.
There is no top.
There's a lager top.
That's what the Bitcoin maxes say. There is no top.
Yeah. So
Never
obviously
bust
got
from the top.
another trend line here as well, mate. So
Yeah.
I think we're coming lower still yet, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Although if I'm honest, we look at liquidities here as well, so it's just standing out to me. So obviously I'd mark this because this takes this trend line here, but it doesn't hold. So obviously this order block looks to take this equal highs, this one here. So and I'm back on points of interest, so you have to bear with me. This zone cut takes this one, gets mitigated, and we've possibly got obviously mitigation. This might be a break of structure here. So maybe should have been an entry in here somewhere. So this would have been that would have been another point of interest zone, which would then make
did you say the videos that you were making, are they for the
Website.
news section?
Yeah, well, just as supply and demand education, they're removing
yeah.
the old videos, mate. So
Yeah.
I won't get excited by them. I'm not like there's nothing exciting. I've kept it very basic. I think I've done 5 videos, so it's just my take on imbalance, points of interest, obviously, which is what I'm sort of covering now.
Yeah.
Liquidities, just a bit of structure. And
Is
then
that
obviously,
kind of like the free section before you join, is it or not?
no,
No, it's not,
do
is
you
it?
know, yeah,
No.
when you sign up to TFT, you get like as a paid member, you get access to like all the education.
Yeah, that's
So
it.
obviously, you can do bankers, supply and demand,
Yeah.
simple strategy, all them sort of stuff.
Yeah.
There's each section's got their own. Obviously, Matt does his for simple strategy on the website, so it's just them videos. I'm just replacing Jason's videos, really, mate.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I've sort of like I say, it's nothing to be excited about. Like for you guys that have been here more than a year, it'll be basic, and you'll probably find it a bit boring. I'm hoping everyone can take something away from it, but I've kept away from like your traditional supply and demand terminology, um, just because I think it's confusing for everybody. So the supply and demand, obviously, there's the abbreviations like LTT, OF,
Yeah.
order flow shift realignment, and all. I've kept it away because it's just
Bit
different.
intense.
Yeah, it's just different words for structures or pro trend, counter trend, but we know all these other terms, so I figured don't get involved in that side of it. Just show people on a chart. But basically, I want people to be able to watch me videos, maybe spend a bit of time rewatching the putting it together sort of thing, and if they watch it a few times, they should maybe be able to come away and go, I can make a strategy from this myself,
Yeah.
because I'm showing them pretty much the four main components of the market, which I believe are obviously there's creating liquidity, taking liquidity, rebalancing, and then obviously structure as a side, as the thought sort of thing. So obviously creating liquidity is trend lines, equal highs, lows, major highs and lows. Obviously we all know taking it is just when price passes through.
Yeah.
Obviously one of my videos is points of interest, so like these areas causing this to be taken. So, and obviously C gets mitigation, possible break of structure, entry to mitigating of an entry. That's a possibility. Just from looking at this zone that causes this trend line to be taken.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. This trend line, this take causes it to be taken, mitigates it. Possible entry somewhere. I don't break a structure up here. This causes, so maybe this is the entry there. Obviously, then but it's obviously, and then obviously I've done a put it all together video, so nothing to be excited about. I think it's pretty basic stuff.
But that's what the people joining
yeah,
though. That's the thing.
Yeah, I just wanted to keep it simple, hoping that people might be able to jump on and start making money as soon as they possibly can, as long as they dedicate a bit of time to it.
Yeah.
And I don't really think there's much else to learn anyway, Like, I'm making okay money from this, and I'm drawing lines, boxes.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really.
You're almost getting paid to do it.
Yeah, like there's with a bit of knowledge of how it all flows together in an order, then, if I really break it down, so obviously I open a chart, I draw my liquidities basically, and then if it's been taken, I draw a box. So obviously it creates liquidity, it then takes it. I then want it to come back into a point of interest, which is obviously like that's 3 of the videos done, making it, taking it, point of interest. Then you start adding imbalances to like pinpoint areas, and then obviously I'll show you a better chart, to be fair, because
still got to nail my entries, mate.
Well, entries are pretty damn simple, mate. It's an imbalance fill.
I know.
You want it as low down if you're trying to buy.
But I know, like you and Ali have noticed, obviously, let's just say like last 2 weeks or something,
Yeah,
when I've put some markups in, my entries are, especially AU, the entries have just been too early
yeah,
every time. And the thing is, it's like I'm getting the entry and it's getting a nice big drop,
yeah,
but it's not going down to where I wanted it to go.
yeah,
And then the other day it just shot right back up, came back up to the entry, and it's because I'm I don't know, either I'm not bringing my TP, I'm overestimating my TP,
yeah,
or I'm entering too early.
yeah.
So
So,
yes, I still got to work on that. That's what I'm figuring out still at the moment.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm just trying to think. 'Cause I think we covered this the other week, mate. I covered. What did I cover? I can't remember if I covered this one or this one. So it's the same again, mate. I think you obviously once you start marking the liquidities and obviously, so if I extend that one right, so I extend right, so obviously I think it was this one I covered a couple of weeks ago on my live.
Yeah.
So obviously this, it looks like this sort of zone here causes this equal load to be taken. So obviously this is where this trade here comes about. Well, there's still a real possibility, mate, that this zone was not actually the major move it wants to go. If it wants to go lower, it
Uh-huh.
could, in reality, it could be up there because,
Wow.
so in reality, we could be marking imbalances all the way up here still, and,
Ah, yeah.
this might be where it's actually targeting, and you're just trying to get in way too early.
Yep.
So real possibility somewhere in here it will actually sell off from if it's going to go into sell.
So you know
Obviously,
one of my other markups I put in the other day, obviously, the three different types of trades.
yeah,
One of the AUs was a break and retest,
yeah,
and that is one of my TPs, which is that um consolidation area.
yeah,
So I do actually have a strong feeling that AU is going to be pushing up to that consolidation area over to the left up there.
yeah,
That
yeah,
area there. Yeah.
yeah. I agree, mate. I do.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, there's a possibility, mate, that obviously we just spoke about this bit.
Yeah.
It's possibly a trend line in here somewhere. So in reality,
Yeah, right.
this could be the move. This zone here could be where it wants to
Uh-huh.
tap into. Obviously, I've just marked that, and
Yeah.
it might not be there. I've just done it for the sake of showing you, but
Yeah.
it could well be that somewhere in there is possibly where it wants to come and fill an imbalance,
Definitely. Yeah.
possibly just under there. And if we look at here, obviously we've got a trend line here, huge push up, which would have taken stop losses. Obviously, people would have been selling from high up here. We're now going back to mitigate something, so we could actually see. Do you know, I said about a pullback on a Monday after a big
Yeah.
push up.
Yeah.
So we could easily come back into this early on this week. So maybe catch the buy from here to then actually take it
Yeah.
up to here. Obviously, we are currently bullish, short term bullish. I think overall we are very sells overall, but
Oh yeah. I mean, I've still got a massive 4 hour zone down
yeah,
below still, and I believe it's still pushing down to there.
yeah. But yeah, I think if you start taking into consideration what happens further left, mate,
Yeah.
like I say, I think that'll maybe help you decide where you want it to be like
Sweet.
taking trades from rather than just
Yes.
market. Like obviously, if you get zoned in, if you don't go so like above the 2 hour and you pick in imbalances, you'll be lost because there'll be hundreds of imbalances both sides.
Hmm.
Obviously, you can narrow where you want to be putting these imbalances to be filled
That now
by
is where so consolidation areas
yeah,
is now where I'm looking at setting my TPs now,
yeah,
which I found, and I was like, actually, I'm finding I'm getting better TP areas
yeah,
for in consolidation areas.
yeah,
Yeah, so that's
yeah,
just something which I've just been figuring out, like, but it's obviously, yeah, just don't want to be entering one leg too early, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is what I found I have been doing. I'm entering just that one leg too early, and actually, if I just let it go up, break the structure again,
Yeah.
and then come back down, and then head up, then I'm actually getting a better risk to reward from it all.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's anything to worry about waiting for that extra like
Leg, yeah,
breaker structure and leg. So you, it sounds mad, mate, and I don't. Obviously, I might be slightly off here, but if you're waiting for an extra break or structure and then obviously another retest, I would say you're only a step away from a 4-15-1 system.
I know,
Do you
yeah,
know?
yeah,
And that works. So, I mean, I've deleted all most of my markups, but I believe, if I remember rightly, this will be a 4-15-1 system. So there would have been a 4 hour zone, 15, 1 minute, bosh,
oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I can see that.
So yeah, if just
And
by
that
waiting
big
for that extra
swings as
one,
well.
mate. So
Yeah.
yeah, it sounds like it's taking you a while, mate, but it sounds like you're getting to where I've been trying to put everyone for the last 2 years anyway.
I know. It's only taken me this long.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll get
Well,
there soon.
you will, mate.
I
Are
know.
you journaling yet as well?
Yeah, like so I'm taking screenshots of it all.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean obviously whenever obviously you're free at some point, we'll have a catch up and I'll yeah, just start I can start sending you some stuff or I can put it into the group, either one, like, but
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, I don't mind either, mate. I suppose I'd rather it go into the group because then
yeah,
everybody can learn from
yeah,
even if obviously if you post a good setup and it's ace, everyone can
yeah,
learn from that. And if I've got to say, oh, you need to look at this, maybe, mate. Obviously,
yes,
people can learn from both sides of the markup, sort
uh-huh,
of thing. So,
yeah,
but yeah, definitely journal, mate. I'd like you to actually, um, obviously, I'd love you to start nailing down just one thing and just journal and backtest that one thing. But
yeah.
yeah, and I
I
know it's
know, right?
tempting not to, but
It's just I think like once it's just so much out there, that's the problem. But yeah, no,
yeah,
I know exactly what you're saying.
yeah.
But I mean, I was passing accounts, but I just obviously, yeah, I just wanted to have a bit of a sit back and the thing is, I want to actually, I want to earn some decent money this year.
Yeah.
Like, just sit back and just actually start enjoying it.
Yeah. Well, I think I've told you before, mate, is I think you know everything you need to know. I think you can do it. You just need to just just focus. Just
Yeah,
like cut out the shit. The
yeah,
shit's what's costing you.
yeah, exactly.
So yeah.
Yeah.
I'll call it there, mate. Anyway, because
Thanks, mate.
it's getting on a bit. So cheers for jumping on, buddy. I'll uh,
Cheers.
I'll speak to you all in the group. Cheers, mate.
Lovely. Thanks, mate. Cheers, mate.
Bye.